Welcome to the 20-Minute Gamer channel, Marines. I'm your host, Nick, and this is Tactical Breakdown. We're looking at engagements in Aliens Dark Descent and what my mindset was setting up or in the spur of the moment. Let's dig in. Now, what I plan on doing is each one of these videos will drop with the conclusion of each main mission. So based on the engagements that I have and how relevant they actually are for this, there'll be an individual video for each one. That should keep them relatively short inside of that, 3 or 4 minute mark. Our first one is the Crusher in Dead Hills. Now, Crushers are a unique unit type because they don't attack with the same speed and ferocity as the drones, warriors, and runners. Crushers are a little slow, and if you're paying attention, they should be easy to navigate against. What will get you in fighting Crushers are the other Xenos. They tend to bottleneck your movement and prevent you from being able to escape the Crusher's movements. Now, this is all footage from my hard playthrough. We know the Crusher's coming, so I need to set things up. First, I weld the door. This for me was a must. I need to cut off access to me. I want to control the flow of traffic and make sure that I'm only required to focus fire in one direction. As you'll see later in this clip, this weld was instrumental in preventing my Marines having contact on several fronts. We always want to have our firepower as forward-facing or as concentrated as possible. Second, and this sounds silly, I also want to make sure that I have enough command points and turrets set up as well. Now, I only had one turret that I was able to implement at this time, which is fine. That's no big deal. I don't think that I was limited in only having one turret. I think that for this particular engagement, we did just fine. Alright, so the Crusher has officially burst through the door, and we are face to face with our first tactical conundrum. We have a Class 2 Xenomorph. Now, he's brought a couple of friends. We know that through the main door with him has come a drone. To the west of us, behind the container, through a vent, has come another drone. And, circling back to what I said previously, the door that we welded also has a drone trying to burst through it. Now, the first couple of steps I took was, I want to go ahead and put as much firepower downrange as possible. I want to keep my distance from this Crusher. I already know that my Marines are going to get caught off guard by the drone that's going to be coming at them from the west. I am prepared for that. I understand that that is coming. But I don't also have to contend with the drone to the north behind the door. We've welded that door and he is secure. So I am purely going to be working on taking care of the drone with the Crusher and putting as much damage on the Crusher right now before the Crusher starts his special attacks. Now, my first thought process was to grab the incinerator, which does happen to do some of the greatest damage in the game. My first thought process was to grab that and sweep some flame across the main floor. I thought that if I could have fire on the ground, the Xenos would also then pigeonhole themselves and funnel themselves through an even tighter corridor that I would be able to take advantage of. However, after attempting to go ahead and do that, I realized that my flame arc would have gone ahead and decimated my turret, thus cutting down my available firepower, actually going down range. So we didn't do that. We went ahead and we switched over to the grenade launcher, which also does a fine amount of damage. I have no issues with the grenade launcher whatsoever. So the grenade launcher round impacted, and that was our first real chunk of damage that wound up getting done to the Crusher. We also went ahead and actually caught the drone as well in that fire. All right around here, we start to take our fair share of damage. Our second drone finally presents itself. Right around here, we lose our turret due to the Crusher's special. Off to the north, you can still kind of see the one drone trying to break through the door, and he does eventually break through the door, and my Marines need to go ahead and wax him. Because I set up and protected my team against the flood of small Xenos that come during this particular engagement, at the end here, it was very easy for my team to navigate against the Crusher's charged attacks. And right here, just after we've dispatched the Crusher, you can see that one solitary drone finally broke through the door. My Marines were able to dispatch him with tremendous efficiency. Crushers depend on the drones, warriors, and runners to tie your team up, to distract them so that the Crusher can land his charged attacks. So there you have it, Marines. Tactical breakdown in just a little bit over 5 minutes. My goal is to try and keep these between 3 to 5 minutes. I think it just depends on the engagement and how much is actually going on. In this instance, as I started to break down the video, I realized there was a little bit more that maybe I wanted to identify and clarify, which kind of pushed us into that 5-minute territory. I appreciate you all for joining me on this. Listen, we're going to do several of these. Like I said, at the closure of each main mission, we're going to go ahead and talk about what were the main conflicts that you couldn't avoid. And hopefully learning how to deal with those main conflicts allows you to adjust fire and adapt to the spur-of-the-moment conflicts that you experience in this game. I will see you on the next one, Marines. You stay frosty out there. Nick out.